For the average person, they're just rocks. But for these climbers, they're puzzles waiting to be solved. A chance to form meaningful relationships and a means to improve their life in every way. Why should more people learn about this sport? And what does it take to be a rock climber?
I started climbing March 2022.
I started in January of 2022.
I've been climbing since 2005.
I was introduced to climbing through my school. I'm a student at Cal State Long Beach, and basically for anybody who's either a member at the gym or a student at the school, they can get a free membership at the gym. Anybody there can just climb for free.
So Emmanuel was the one who introduced me to rock climbing. This was happening during the transition of going to school from like online to in person. And during, since I was still back at home, like super far away, we would watch videos about rock climbing together because he was getting super interested in it. And in turn, I kind of picked it up. And then when I finally went back to school in person, I was also able to go to a rock climbing gym and try it out for myself.
I moved to Washington State, and there was an ad to teach climbing in the mountains with Boy Scouts of America. And I applied to the ad, and I didn't realize how intense it was. And they said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll train you." And so I went out for like a week and 12-hour days.
I came back just because I thought it was a lot of fun, how it was kind of like a puzzle. The first thing I tried felt so hard the first time. Probably tried it like 10 times and eventually got it, and it felt easy. And it was just how bad I was. I wanted to get so much better.
I think I really kind of picked up going to rock climbing regularly as it was a way for me and Emmanuel to hang out.
I started in Snoqualmie National Forest. So I started climbing out there and just got a natural love for, I'm from Huntington Beach, California, but I felt like at home. As soon as I started climbing outdoors, I just loved being outside. And so I ended up staying in Washington State for a decade.
I think climbing, I would recommend it just because it doesn't even feel like you're doing a sport. It doesn't feel like exercise. You're really just kind of playing a game. There's like this puzzle on the wall, you're trying to figure it out, and you just happen to be working out as you do it.
It's kind of like addicting in terms of you're progressing, you see this progress. Once you start getting like one grade, you're like, oh, I want to get to the next grade. I want to see how strong I can become. And sometimes even that can be the same with doing certain routes where you start trying to do a move and you're like, oh, maybe I feel like I'm not strong enough or I don't understand how to do this move yet. And then you start being like, I got to figure this out. I want to be able to do this move. And then you're like, oh, maybe I need to train it, or maybe I just need to try this move some more. And that ends up resulting in this cycle of like, you're constantly wanting to progress and do better.
Sometimes it doesn't really make sense, because if you tell someone, you're like, I'm just climbing these rocks indoor, and they're like, why would you do that? You know, but I think once you try it, you're like, wow, that was really cool. Because I brought a lot of first timers, and they definitely want to try to get into it. And so I try to, you know, hype them up and be like, oh yeah, come on out. It's super fun. It's not that bad, you know. But some people only like certain things. Like some people are afraid of heights. And so they'll just be like, hey, you know what, I'm okay in here. This is my element. And that's okay, you know, because you can still come out and have fun with them and just enjoy life. And some people are like, let's take it to the next level. Let's go outside. I'm like, all right, let's go.
It's such a different kind of strength, and there's a lot of different ways to do things, or sometimes it might be a little specific, but overall, usually it's almost similar to a puzzle where you're just trying to figure out what to do for your own self, like what makes it easier, which ways can be stronger or harder.
It was way different than I had expected. When I see rock climbing, it's like, you see the movies, people have no rope, no protection, they're like hanging off a cliff. And pretty much all rock climbing, for the most part, besides like a select few people, it's all like, it's really much safer than people think, and You have a lot more control over how high you want to go. There's like bouldering, which is what I really like to do. You only maybe go up maximum like 12 feet most of the time, and if you don't want to, you can just do like climbs that are pretty low to the ground.
To be a strong climber and to climb those higher grades obviously takes a certain like amount of physical ability. So you have to be strong enough to do those moves and trust your body in doing them. But at the same time, it very much is a mental game. There's a lot of times that commitment to certain moves has stopped me, like due to being like scared of falling or like due to not trusting the strength of my own body. Sometimes it is quite surprising where it's like, oh, I'm strong enough to do a move. But then sometimes you'll find that you're not strong enough quite yet. And sometimes that can be a little mentally defeating as well. Like, especially if you were like, oh, I thought I could do this, or different things on different days can affect it.
I think it's just consistency and effort. Like, if you climb a lot, if you enjoy the climbing, you're gonna get better no matter what. Because if you enjoy it, you're gonna keep going, and if you keep going, you're gonna stay consistent, so you'll just keep getting stronger and stronger.
I would say anyone can do it. I don't think it's that difficult. It just takes time. You know, I think with just like anything in life, I think emotionally it feels good, mentally it feels good, and it's a good outlet, and building those friendships has been beneficial to me, and it's one of those things like I feel like I'll take away for a lifetime. You know, it's one of those things I'll never forget until I can't climb anymore.
I think the best part about climbing is really it's all one community. It's not really like, most people aren't like, oh, you're this type of climber, you climb like a specific type of climbing, which like, let's say like you boulder like I do, or you rope climb. Nobody's really like mad at you for that, and like they don't like exclude you out of their like little subset of climbing. All climbers are just climbers. We're all in the same community. No matter what you do, everybody's welcoming. Everybody's always like, you want to try whatever we're trying? You want to join us? Everybody will give you advice if you ask. Really, I think that the whole community of climbing as a whole is like probably one of the nicest groups of people I've ever met.
What's nice about climbing is that you build friendships. And so even though maybe, I'm sure business opportunities come around and, you know, other things besides climbing, but I think one of the most important things for me is that warmth and the friendship, like the community. And so I've made some really good friends through climbing, to this day, even still in Washington, that we still communicate with each other. And even I visited a few times, and let's go climbing, all right.
For the most part, I've found that many climbers are just always very welcoming and very open to like talking to new people and finding out. I think it's because the sport is also growing. Usually people are like, oh, what can they like tell me, or what can I learn? Or it's just like you're always exchanging knowledge of whatever kind.
Some things are unrealistic, but once you start doing it, you're like, oh, okay, I see how, you know, this works, or I see how that works, or whatever. So it's been so fun though, so fun. I mean, 2005 to now, and I'm still doing it, so I enjoy it.
Honestly, like within the first 2 years, I never thought I'd be as strong as I feel right now. And it's weird because in climbing, like you do get strong and you are stronger, but you're never as strong as you want to be. There's like, right now, the strongest climbers in the world, it's not like, oh, we're at the top. It's let's find something harder to keep doing. But even though like I still feel like I gotta get stronger, I do realize like I'm way stronger than I thought I would be. I can do stuff that I thought would be impossible for me, like a one-arm pull-up or a front lever. That stuff I could never imagine that I would ever actually be able to do just a few years ago, but it came so quickly.